many of you know, there's been some changes at TriMet lately. One of them being Shelley Lomax, longtime divisive figure, finally either retired or given the boot. I guess the popular theory is that they finally gave her the boot. I don't know if it's true or not. We'll never know. Don't feel too bad for Shelley. She had a long and illustrious career, made lots of money, and has a nice big fat pension, so don't feel bad for Shelley. TriMet did right by her, and a lot of us didn't like her. I knew her when she was a station manager, and she was pretty good, but as she went up the ladder, she became less and less humane towards people, and more dictatorial, and either you do things this way or you get out, and there's no compromise. We don't want to hear what you have to say at all. You do it my way or the highway. And somebody like me has a lot of problems with people who say my way or the highway. I generally pick the highway because I refuse to be associated with those kind of individuals that force you to do things even though there's questions about the things they want you to do. Anyway, she's gone, and now we have Patrick Preusser, I guess his name is, who's taken her spot, and he sent out a survey. So myself and people that I know that I talk to regularly on phone and otherwise have talked about this, and people I know on Twitter, which is where I do all of my TriMet stuff, is basically on Twitter, also discuss this, and I want to go over this. I want to go over the mailer and what I think about it, but before we do that, I want to go over who is Patrick Preusser. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Who is he? Well, in TriMet's, you can't see that, but in TriMet's news release, here's what it says. TriMet hires expert in rail transportation to lead transportation division. So the headline is TriMet hires expert in rail transportation to lead transportation division. It didn't say anything about buses. It said rail in their headline. TriMet has hired Patrick Preusser, an expert in rail transportation, to lead its transportation division, its executive director of transportation. Preusser will lead operational activities for Bus, Max, West, and Lyft. The division includes 1,750 employees who deliver more than 101 million rides a year. Preusser brings 19 years of railway experience in working in both public and private sector operations, including freight, commuter, passenger transit, all with a dedication to advancing safety and operations. He comes to TriMet from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, I can't think of any better place to hire somebody from than Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I mean, the most undemocratic country in the world. What the hell is he doing there? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Where he served as operations manager for the Saudi Railway Company. Prior to that, he was executive director for rail at LA Metro. Preusser has also worked for Amtrak and for the U.S. Department of Transportation's Federal Rail Administration. Patrick's extensive experience and knowledge of rail operations will be a tremendous asset, says Doug Kelsey. Okay, that leads me to the next point before we get to the survey. Mr. Preusser, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you know who I mean. He's third man down on when we're talking about changing things. He's third. He's not top. He's not second. He's third. So remember that. He will play a critical role in improving safety as we implement our rail audit. So we're still talking about this, Doug Kelsey's theory that TriMet light rail is one of the most dangerous light rails in the country, and we were all very lucky that there hasn't been mass casualties due to TriMet operating procedures. So we're still talking about this in the TriMet. Preusser added that, I'm pleased to be working for the highly regarded transit agency in a community that's committed to multimodal transportation. That's a perfect, political line. I believe in TriMet's mission. What is that? Capital projects? and look forward working with our employees to build upon current accomplishments, advance safety, and grow our service. Success to me is being proactive and preventing problems through analysis and process improvement. Preusser has a Master's of Intermodal Transportation Management from the University of Denver and is currently completing a second Master's in Public Administration. All right, well, as you can see that from the TriMet press release, it's really about rail. They're talking about rail. The emphasis is rail, rail, rail. So remember that, those of you who are bus people. Now let's hear what Patrick has to say about himself from his LinkedIn profile, which you can read. Okay, motivated professional with over 19 years experience, including fixed bus route service, commuter rail, freight rail, intercity rail, light rail, long-distance rail, and paratransit services with continued success advancing safety and operations. Proven ability to build strategic partnerships across departments, organizations, and governments. In-depth knowledge of administration, railway regulations, safety, operating rules and procedures. Demonstrated ability to analyze data, develop strategic goals, and administer large-scale programs. Seasoned investigator with experience collaborating with NTSB and the Occupational Health Administration. He's the recipient of the U.S. Secretary of Transportation's Foreign Service Award and the recipient of the U.S. Secretary of Transportation's Excellence Award. And he is a multi-exchange alumni, whatever that is. And let's see, then he lists his experience here. Passenger business unit is what he was doing in Saudi Arabia. Executive officer rail in LA. I'm not going to read all of this. Senior rail advisor for the U.S. Department. Rail specialist for the U.S. Department of Transportation. Transportation manager, Herzog Transit Services. Who's that? Assistant superintendent, Amtrak. Locomotive engineer. Oh, so he does. So at least he has some actual. Okay, you got to give it to him. At least he actually operated trains. That's important. That these people that are actually doing the management have some understanding of actually what it's like to be operating this stuff. Safely operate locomotive. Yeah, okay. And he's got a whole list of stuff. Okay. Anyway, that's his credentials according to him. So now, let's take a look at his letter to the employees of TriMet. Let me get back to that. Where was I? Just a second here. All right. Okay. Here's the letter that he sent to the employees. I'm beginning to settle in as the Executive Director of the Transportation Division. Thank you for making me feel so welcome here at TriMet and in Portland. I've met many wonderful employees, and I look forward to meeting and getting to know more. TriMet is one of the premier transit agencies in the country, and we excel in many aspects of our business. Like what, for example? However, as with any large organization, we need to improve in other areas. Like what, for example? In order to improve, we need to work together to find creative solutions to the issues we face. I am seeking your ideas on ways to improve what we do every day. The best ideas and solutions come from frontline employees, and I'm interested to hear your suggestions. Our mission is to provide valued transit service that is safe, dependable, and easy to use. With this ultimate goal in mind, how do we continue to honor this mission for our customers? All sounds good on paper. I welcome your ideas and solutions in several ways. Write your ideas on the attached postcard. Answer a few questions online, and provide your suggestions using the link. Use the same link to schedule a brief one-on-one meeting with me to share an idea or discuss career objectives and professional development. And then he says, see, this is where it gets troubling. Okay, instead of being a wide open, those of you who are really long-time employees, people that used to work there, Tom Walsh, remember Tom Walsh? Even I remember him. I was there only a year or two before he left, but he left his office wide open. Anybody could walk in and talk to Tom Walsh. Talk to Tom. You just walk in, any employee, and talk to Tom. Well, those days are long gone, as you know. Now you can't even get in the building, never mind get into the general manager's office. But anyway, he's setting conditions, and that's always troubling right off the bat when somebody wants to hear you, but they're conditions. I mean, if you really want to hear somebody, you don't set conditions. You say, come in, say what you have to say, offer whatever suggestions you have to offer, and thank you very much. But he set these conditions. So what are the conditions? If you bring an issue to the table, please come with your ideas for a solution. Well, that's an interesting concept. You know, we're the people that are doing the work. You're the guy that comes up with the solutions. The way this should work is we bring to you the problems that we're facing. You come up with a solution. Okay, so that's a cop-out. You hear this a lot. If you don't have a solution, keep your mouth shut. If you don't have something nice to say, keep your mouth shut. Basically, all of those kind of comments are the way the power structure keeps in power by demeaning the people that are saying negative things. Oh, Al's always negative, so don't listen to him because he never has anything nice to say. But that's a way that the power structure can keep their power by demeaning me personally. Oh, Al doesn't have a solution, so therefore don't listen to him. Okay, he's just complaining all the time. Well, let me tell you something. I and other bus drivers are not sitting in the seats with Kelsey and McFarland and the rest of them dealing with millions and millions of dollars to be allocated across the board, where the solutions really lie in the allocation of the budget. All right, that's where the solutions lie. So for him to say bring a solution is that's disingenuous. Please don't trash talk about others. We need to support our team members. Okay, that's very, very troubling, terribly troubling that he actually said that in this letter, because what that signifies to me is that he already has preconceived notions about things. Somebody's already got to him and said there's people that are saying things about other people that are trash. Okay, so now we know that he's already jaded. He's already been lectured. He's already been taught. He's not coming in with a clear mind, an objective mind. He's coming in with a preconceived notion that there's people trash talking other people. Now, once again, I disagree. He shouldn't be saying anything about people coming in. If he's genuine about it, you let them come in and say what has to be said. But he's not. This is where it's becoming clear that this is a fraud, because he's already been talking to somebody, and it wasn't the frontline employee. We already have a process in place to address safety concerns through requests for safety. See, now he's done another. Don't bring any safety concerns to me is what he's saying. Okay, so now he's eliminated that. People might want to complain about the RSA procedure. People might not be happy with it. People might have complaints about it. People might have safety issues that are not being. So he says, don't bring me any safety issues. And there are separate processes in place for handling contract matters or grievance disputes. So in other words, don't bring any. So in other words, don't bring any of the issues you're having with the management to me. So what the hell does he want? What the hell does he want you to bring to him? He doesn't want you to bring any contractual issues. He doesn't want you to bring any safety issues. He doesn't want you to talk about anybody. It's a fraud. Mr. Preusser, don't waste our time with your bullshit, okay? I'm talking to you as an ex-employee and somebody who watches the operations daily. I know more about TriMet than you do. I don't know about the money, but I watch the program. I hear it. I actually take the time to listen to what's going on. You want to leave the door open, but you don't want to talk about anything that people want to talk about. It's sad. It's pathetic. A last comment about this. Mr. Preusser is a career technocrat. He's been jumping all around, advancing his career, and my experience with career technocrats is such that a career technocrat is really only interested in their career advancement. They're not interested in you as people. They look at you as somebody to be managed, you understand? You can't put your faith in a career technocrat, is what I'm trying to say, because who knows how long he'll be here, and he'll be moving to the next place. I mean, he's already got a half a dozen places that he's been at. Sorry about that. So who knows how long he's going to be even at TriMet. So a career technocrat is a careerist, and a careerist is only interested in their career. So he's going to do what's best for him, believe me.